Welcome back to the Now Morning Show and welcome to Caribbean Tourism Month all November long. This morning we are putting the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Arts inside your spotlight on Now.
The end of the year is always a celebration, and Caribbean Tourism Month, the month of November, is definitely a reason to celebrate. The theme this year is People, Planet and Prosperity. And joining us in studio is Mr. Edward Lee Tang, Tourism Coordinator of the Tourism Advisory Unit. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Happy Caribbean Tourism Month.
Happy Caribbean Tourism Month. I feel like this is a greeting we need to start with now every single day.
I think so as well.
It's wonderful to see this initiative come out, especially at such a busy time of year, because we see the investment, we see people coming home for the season as well. So one can only imagine with the activities that you and your team have lined up, it's going to be one to remember. But before we get to the activities, let's talk a little bit about the celebrations and the significance this year.
So you know that we had recently come out of the pandemic, and a lot of people were affected by what transpired, especially our sector, which is so heavily influenced with people. So when we talk about the whole area of Caribbean Tourism Month, we are looking at investing in our people, ensuring that the knowledge and the skill bank is there. We're also looking at protecting our planet. And that's what you spoke about, planet. So we talk about people, planet, and then prosperity for all. How do we get this prosperity? We have to ensure that our persons and our communities, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later with our discussion, how are we going to ensure that our communities are well, the capacity is there within tourism to ensure that what happened in the past for COVID-19 and thereafter, that we become a more resilient community, a more resilient sector.
I mean, community is critical to everything in life, but especially when we look at this theme in particular. How did the ministry choose this theme?
So it's not chosen by the ministry, but by the CTO, the Caribbean Tourism Organization. We are a member state, one of the 25 members of Caribbean Tourism Organization, the CTO. So that organization will tell you what the theme is. So, what is good about it is that the theme actually pivots from UNWTO, which is the United Nations World Tourism Organization, and their theme was investing in people, planet, and prosperity. So we as well, for the Caribbean Tourism Organization, decided to adopt that theme and work alongside with that theme.
That's wonderful. So we're going to see simultaneous celebrations throughout the region, correct?
Correct. You're quite right.
Wow, this is awesome. Okay, so let's get into, I know we're going to speak about community a little bit later, but the activities definitely piqued everybody's interest. So let's talk a little bit about some of the various activities that are scheduled for the celebration. For example, Live at Lunch at Nallis. That sounds like a celebration.
Correct, is right. So Live at Lunch at Nallis, what we are doing, well, the first thing, the program at Nallis would be is a tourism fair. You're going to have some music, but you're also going to have tourism stakeholders in a booth setup.
Okay.
So we are encouraging and asking students, those recent graduates from university, to pass in and see exactly what tourism could offer you. So normally when a person graduates, they look at some of the more high profiles sectors. Here we are asking you, come in, talk to our stakeholders and find out how you can be a part of the tourism sector, the tourism industry. So that's what's going to be happening at Nallis. The Live at Lunch, that program is going to be held at the Promenade. And that's where you have the entertainers. You're going to bring the musicians, the artists out there. So between 12 to 1:30, we've been inviting some of the more popular ones and those who are upcoming. So during your lunchtime hour, you come down to the Promenade and you partake and enjoy what we're going to offer to you.
So we're going to have a responsible responsible concert, let's say, during your lunch hour.
Always, of course.
That's wonderful, and I love the fact that it encapsulates our culture as well, because this is one of the things that we do. I mean, it's not just in the carnival season. People come here all the time to say, hey, this is where we come to relax. Now, what else do you have happening?
Right. I want to say as well, especially for this one, for Caribbean Tourism 2023, you know, our ministry carries a dual portfolio. We talk about tourism and culture and the arts. This is what we were speaking about. So we have activities and initiatives from both of these disciplines. I always tell people we are multi-sectoral, multidisciplinary. industry. So we bring and we draw and bring people from all of these. So here are some of the activities. The Mighty Sparrow exhibition. This is ongoing.
Okay.
It's a departure lounge in Piaco. So you're going to see the life and his contribution to our culture. Also, an essay writing competition. So we're not forgetting the youth. And right now AI is a big thing. So we're going to have an essay for children between ages of 12 to 18, looking at how AI can improve the competitiveness of the tourism sector.
Oh, I love that inclusion. That's fantastic. Let's just speak briefly about that essay competition for a second. Is this open to schools or just children in general?
So children, which includes the school age between 12 to 18 years old. So you're going to have a word limit, 800 words to 1,000 words for 12 to 15-year-olds, and 16 to 18-year-olds, 1,000 to 1,500 words. So we're going to look at that. We're going to have external markers from the sector and experts, subject matter experts, to review what you have written. We want you to be creative. Don't go on the internet and just pull down stuff and put it on the paper. Looking at grammar, format, structure, all of that.
Okay.
Yes. So we're asking the young people to be out there and look out for that. There's going to be also a Diwali exhibition at Gulf City Mall in Laramie. Nice. So we are going to be part of that. That takes place between the 3rd and the 5th of November. Also, a visual arts exhibition. I know we were talking about culture and what the artists may bring. So within this one, we have mentoring by the masters.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yes. So
we need to talk about that a little bit more.
Sure, we can speak about that. With respect to the artists who we have, there were 3 of them. We have Helen Camps, who deals with theatre arts, Maria Lee, who deals with Chinese culinary, and Shastri Maharaj, who deals with visual arts. So at the Rotunda, at the Parliament building, we're going to have the visual artist, the mentees. So he's a mentor. He's the icon who's passing on his knowledge to the mentees who will now showcase their art at the Rotunda.
So how do people qualify to be mentees? Is this something that the call has already gone out?
Right, yes. So it took place between August and October, a 3-month program, very intensive program. So these would have been identified prior, and we invited them to be mentors to this set of stakeholders. It's done by the Arts Treasury of Trinidad and Tobago, and it's something that they want to perpetuate. So when you talk about sustainability, how do you build sustainability? You've got to train people, build their capacity, and so therein, among their peers, improve, and they become mentors thereafter. So we also have a social media trivia. So you ask about, how the person is going to be involved. So that is going to be questions based on the aforementioned topic. We talk about investing in people, prosperity, and planet. So questions will be disseminated via social media, all the platforms that we have, our website, social, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, it will be on that. Women in Calypso exhibition, which is a partnership with the Carnival Museum of Trinidad and Tobago. That is another exhibition we're going to have where women will be highlighted who have, been part and parcel of the whole Calypso, that sector, the culture sector. CBT workshop, we're going to go to the communities, Beaujeu. Right. So what we're going to do with that is actually train persons in the community who have tourism businesses, the entrepreneurs, and upskill them so that they can now take what they have, the raw product. Because what we want to do is try to move you from just being domestic and have you start exporting. That's where we're going to get the foreign exchange.
Wow, are there enough days in the month for all of this?
I know it sounds like that. We have a beach cleanup. We have we have tree planting exercise, and that's the whole part with the planting and ensuring sustainability of the environment. And we're working in conjunction with Angostura. They're going to repurpose their barrels, the cast where they hold the rums. Going to repurpose that, and we're going to use Beaujeu as well to do that. So we're going to have some tree planting exercises in Beaujeu, as well as Cora. We're teaming up with ICC.
My goodness gracious me.
Yes, so there's lots and lots of activities.
So there are lots of activities. How long did all this take to plan? Because it sounds like this has been in the work for years.
We have a team, a multidisciplinary team, and I must say, we get together and have meetings regularly. We also speak to the CTO, and we ask them, what is the theme for this year? So they're supposed to be producing the theme. So once you get that theme, you meet with a group of stakeholders. I must mention our implementation arm, Tourism Trinidad Limited. We are working very closely with them to execute the events that I just spoke about, and all the different stakeholders. we don't own the assets. It resides in the communities and in different persons, so we bring them into the partnership, and that's how we get to execute these events.
So let's go back to a few of these events very briefly. Specifically, your community-based workshops. How do people qualify, let's say, in order to participate?
Right. So at the beginning of the year, we would target certain communities. We get sometimes we get information from the Ministry of Sport and Community Development, and we are sometimes we are sitting on some of their committees. So we work with them, and we also would have planned out and say, okay, here are some of the districts that we want to go into, because they approached us, they write us, they say, here we have the products, we need help. Come and work with us so that we can really get involved in a very tangible way in producing the products and services that you want for us. So we go there and we speak with the community members, and we ask them to nominate persons who in this sector, and we interface with them.
Wonderful. And these community-based workshops, are they going to be on the weekends? Do we already have a schedule available?
Yes, we do. So the first one is going to be in Beaujeu, and that's between the 15th to the 17th of November at the Bagatelle Community Center. So we already targeted them. So they've provided the list of persons who they wish to be trained, and we're going to go out there and do the training. That training is coming actually from the CTO, Caribbean Tourism Organization. So we are working with, if you just say a syllabus with them, and it's executed as called a toolkit, a Caribbean, yes, so it's a CBT toolkit, a community-based tourism toolkit.
So we're seeing this Caribbean connection essentially with this month full of activities. And also to touch on the environmental initiatives, which of course is so important. As it's a global community, this is something we need to work towards. Right. This is open to all ages?
With respect, yes. So some of the events, like I said, would be public events. Some of them, we have a targeted audience. So the Beaujeu, the community-based tourism training is targeted to a specific community. But of course, we're going to be reaching out to different communities. We have already planned those different communities that we'll be approaching for this year. So the open events would be, just as we talk about.
Yes.
We talk about the exhibitions, Sparrow exhibitions. The essay writing competition is open for all. Social media trivia is open for all. Women Calypso exhibition at the Carnival Museum open to all. Live at lunch open to all. Beach cleanup, well, that will be using the ministry staff and TTL and some of our stakeholders, our partners. Career Day open to all. Tree planting exercise, well, we are joining with ICC and CORA, the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries. Their forestry department will be partnering with us.
Wonderful. Now, as you mentioned partnering, of course, many of us are looking forward to what's happening this weekend. The launch of Carnival is taking place, highly anticipated. Is there any collaboration with the launch of Carnival and Caribbean Tourism Month? It will
be integrated through, we have the different areas in our ministry and different persons who deal with that. So it will be part and parcel of it. We told persons that any event that is taking place in November, that we want to have that spin, that Caribbean Tourism Month spoken about, because we really want everybody to get excited about tourism and what is going to be celebrated. I use the word celebrated because it's time for us to go back and celebrate tourism and what we have, all the diversity of our people and our products. We need to celebrate that.
We do. All right, one more question. What about the long-term goals out of Caribbean Tourism Month? Could you maybe share one?
Yes, so what of it? We want to, again, excite people, stimulate people, especially in the communities, to get their products and services at the international standard. Also to just advise people to protect your environment, continue to invest in people. So if you see something that needs to be done, be happy about your environment and protect it. Also in prosperity, this tourism, it can bring revenues and generate income to you and to our destination, Trinidad and Tobago. So that is what I want to leave with.
Definitely. Edward, thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Now Morning Show. Looking forward to seeing this month. I know you're going to have a busy month, so I guess you'll be resting in January.
It continues.
Continues. It does go on.
Yes.
That's Edward Lee Tang, Tourism Coordinator of the Tourism Advisory Unit, right here on the Now Morning Show, talking about Caribbean Tourism Month. Coming up next is the launch of Panorama 2024, so stick around. This is your morning on Now.